Crimson Trace announces Laser Guard Pro for today's most popular concealed carry firearms, combining a red or green laser sight with 150 lumen light, taking personal defense to the next level. Available now at your local dealer.
The number one national voice in defense of your Second Amendment rights. Gun Talk, available on iTunes and on the free Gun Dealio smartphone app for Android and iPhone. To be on the air with Tom, call us now, 866-825-5486 or 1-TOM-TALK-GUN. Now, here's Tom.
Let's talk about some guns. I'm Tom Gresham. You can join me, 866-TALK-GUN, or just dial 1-TOM-TALK-GUN. Now, I get some intriguing requests to do various things. Sometimes to endorse things, which I just almost never do. Sometimes, just to look at cool products, which we almost always do. One of the weirdest ones I got recently was something kind of like somebody pulls open a door and you go, wow, I didn't even know that was there. I didn't know there was a there. And that's what happened to me when I was asked, hey, how would you like to be in our coloring book? Excuse me? What? Being clueless here, as I often am about a lot of subjects, I had no idea that adult coloring books were a thing. Well, joining me to talk about that and this new adult coloring book about guns is Kimberly Eakin. Hey, Kimberly, how you doing?
Wonderful, Tom. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. So, okay, first of all, adult coloring books, it's actually a thing, isn't it?
Right. It's a pastime. About 4 or 5 years ago, it hit Europe big. It came across the water late last year. And so it's a true thing. If you go to Amazon and look at the top 100 books, you will see several are adult coloring books.
So, okay, people, do you use crayons? Because, the last time I used a coloring book, I used crayons. What do you actually do with these?
No, with adult coloring books, they're so detailed that you need to use something like a coloring pencil or a fine-tip marker.
Okay. And I can never stay in the lines. Maybe with a pencil I can do that. That's,
It's okay, Tom. Nobody has to be an artist. No one's correcting it. No one's going to give you a check or a plus.
All right,
it's just pure fun.
All right. So what possessed you to do an adult coloring book about guns?
Well, that's a great question, and I was possessed. I was looking at adult coloring books and thinking there's really nothing like real and substantial. There's not a topic that I love or like to dwell on in my free time. And I love shooting. And my background's in firearms. And I thought, what a weird idea. I'll bounce it off some friends. And they said it's a crazy, wonderful idea. And then they said, let's do it. So that's how we did it.
Okay. All right. So what you have in here are essentially, are they all like we did with mine? You asked me for a photograph that you converted to an image that can be colored. Is that what all of these are?
No. Yes and no. So the images were very like the person, but I had artists that would then work with me to make sure that they look like something you could actually color. So, like yours, you are shooting a handgun, and there's a bullet that's actually a shell that's actually midair, which is a very cool picture. Mm-hmm. I actually had to change that just a little bit so it would be better for coloring. And then, of course, you needed to add your logo. So that's very colorful.
Right. Okay, and you've got different kind of cool guns in there and just all sorts of gunny things. And basically, people could spend a lot of time with their color pencil set with these various guns and shooting scenes and all, and color those. How many are in the book?
I have over 30 images. The book is 70 pages long. So with adult coloring books, you do not want to put an image on the back side of an image page because adult colors use markers or press down hard, and so you don't want to actually mess the image on the back side. So I had this blank space, and you probably know what I did with that. that blank page.
What'd you do with that?
Well, I asked all these wonderful people just like you to give me a little nugget to put in there and tell us more about what you do. And then, of course, a way to connect with each person that participates. So we have all sorts of world-class firearms professionals that contributed to this project.
So who else? You have an idea of who you're talking about? Who's in here?
Well, you know Julie G. She's at world-class.
Yeah, Julie Gollum's there. Yep.
Jerry Mikulik,
Julie Gollum's
we
in
all
there.
know him.
Yeah.
Dustin Ellerman, he won season 3 of Top Shot. Randy Rogers, she's a world-class world champion in cowboy action shooting. And I
mounted
have
cowboy
Michael
shooting,
Waddell.
yeah.
He's the bone collector, the hunter.
Oh, cool.
The top.
That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, so I have lots of really cool people that are in this book that contributed. And it's just a fun way to relax. And I had 2 people tell me how they use their book. One, he bought it for his daughter, who is just back off of deployment. And he said, I really think she'll like this when she's trying to relax off of deployment. I thought that was a heartwarming thing to tell me. And then another man said, my wife just had a stroke. She's into this adult coloring, and now I'm going to have a book to color alongside her.
Oh, that's neat.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
So it's not for everybody, but it's for people who love firearms. So if you've ever been in the military, if you're in law enforcement, if you hunt, or if you're a competitor like me, then this is iconography that you can really get into.
So you just took your passion for guns and shooting and turned it into a cool project.
I think so, and I have to tell you, the shooting community just embraced it, and it has been so much fun, not only to engage with top-notch professionals like you, Tom, but everyone that's looking at the book. I get an overwhelming word. It's cool.
It's cool. It is cool. Now, I guess you just go to Amazon and look for, the name of the book is Full Metal Coloring?
Full Metal Coloring. Of course, I'm a retired sergeant, so I like all the military movies. So Full Metal Jacket, of course, was a great movie.
Right.
So it's called Full Metal Coloring.
That is fabulous. All right, so just go to Amazon. You can look for Full Metal Coloring. You can grab it there. In fact, if you're going to buy one, you might as well buy more than one, because once you get one, you're going to want to give 1 or 2 away. So there you go. Hey, Kim, thank you so much, and thank you for your service.
Absolutely, Tom. Thank you.
All right, you take care. Pretty cool. Full Metal Coloring, a book of downrange reflection. All right, we will be reflecting on guns and shooting and the things you want to talk about. If you're on hold, don't go anywhere. We absolutely are going to get to you as soon as we come back. If you'd like to join us, 866-TALK-GUN.
As we celebrate 2 centuries in Remington country, it's humbling to think about all the ground we've covered. Since the infancy of our nation, we've journeyed with you every step of the way, helping shape the course of American history. Remington country is bigger than a place, and for the 200 years, it's been our highest honor supporting your freedoms and your way of life. To celebrate, Remington is giving away 200 guns. For a chance to win, tell us your story at 200sweepstakes.remington.com.
Alien Gear Holsters, the most comfortable and concealable holsters on the planet, is offering big savings with our new 2-holster combo. Now you can buy 2 complete holsters for as little as $49.88. Choose from any available holster styles and colors for the guns of your choice. All of Alien Gear's quality products are made right here in the USA and include a 30-day trial, forever warranty, and free shell trades for life. Visit aliengearholsters.com today.
For 36 years, the U.S. Sportsmen's Alliance has been fighting to protect hunting, fishing, and trapping for sportsmen from coast to coast. Today, we are under constant attack from extremist animal rights groups who want to end your ability to hunt in the U.S. Join us to protect our sporting heritage and our way of life outdoors. To join or for more information on how you can help, go to ussportsman.org. That's ussportsman.org.
In the war on terror, fighting crime in the streets, in competition and homes around the world, one name in firearms stands out: Sig Sauer. Our pistols and rifles are renowned for their unfailing performance. This same commitment to excellence can be found in our line of SIGTAC accessories and the training offered by the Sig Sauer Academy. For unmatched quality, reliability, and innovation when it counts, choose Sig Sauer. Visit sigsauer.com today.
All righty, we're back with you. Let's go talk to Russ. He's in Roanoke, Virginia, line 3. Hey, Russ, talk about the Founding Fathers for me.
Yes, sir. Well, on all of our discussions on guns, and they're fine and they're good, and I'm a lifetime NRA member and everything else, so I agree with all that. But they're missing something, and that is that the real point in the beginning was not what you owned, it was who you were. And that came from the Great Awakening. And if you, the first time Patrick Henry made his speech, they all threatened him with swords. The second time he made his speech, the swords are still there, but he said, I don't care. Give me liberty or give me death. People don't teach you that. And the real point is, what will you do with what you've got? And that comes down to who you are. And I've taught kids for 34 years, and I can tell you, once their eyes open up and you can see that they understand the Ten Commandments, the things that made us great, the things that made my dad fight at Iwo Jima, but the gentlest dad you ever saw. Once they get that, you don't get this crazy racing around carrying guns just to prove a point. What you get is people seeing a gun as a tool, using it to hunt, using it to protect yourself. And that's why Washington, instead of cutting people's heads off like the French, he had been through the Great Awakening, so he had constraint. He said, no, we don't do this. This is America. And the French threw the Bible out, and they killed millions of people. And I think it's so important, and I don't hear anybody saying it, and it concerns me, because this election is going to be a whole lot more about who gets elected than it is about what we do after we get them elected.
I understand, but it's also going to be, and look, I appreciate the call, appreciate your point, but it is about who gets elected. It's because we are at a major fork in the road, and we are either going to elect Hillary Clinton, and I think Dennis Miller had it. He says, look, a vote for anybody who's not named Trump is a vote for Hillary. You want to vote third party, you're voting for Hillary. You want to stay home, you're voting for Hillary. Simple as that. This is a fork in the road, and we're either going to go down that road of somebody who says the Supreme Court got it wrong on the Heller decision. We're going to, she said, I'm going to spend every day of my administration talking about the problem with the gun culture in America. She's talking about you and me. Gun culture is their code for stupid, evil people who own guns. In other words, if you own a gun, you are stupid or you are evil. Could be both, but you can't be neither by de facto, just from the fact that you own a gun. You have to either be stupid or you have to be evil, and we must do something about that. So she's going to work on the gun culture. And when you have the media, and they're helping her with this all right now, they're parroting all of this nonsense out there. Even though gun crime is down by 50%, they keep telling us that we have an epidemic of gun violence. That's impossible. The two cannot coexist. One or the other is true. And the FBI says in their uniform crime reports that gun crime is down by 50%. Murders are down by 50%. We have tens of millions, maybe 100 million more guns over the last 20 years, and crime is down by half. That cannot be. It cannot be an epidemic of gun violence. And yet Hillary uses that term, and the media parrots that term, and they put forth that narrative, and the narrative changes what people know to be true, and people act on what they know to be true, and therefore you're going to get action on laws and restrictions because people know that we have an epidemic of gun violence when it simply is a lie. So this is that fork in the road. This is because you give her it's not going to be 4 years. If she gets elected, she's in for 8. Done. Going to happen. I don't see a path for recovery from that. I don't see, if she puts 3 justices in the Supreme Court and stacks 50, 60, 70, however many federal judges out there, I don't see a pathway to recovery for gun rights, as well as a lot of other rights, but certainly not for gun rights. I don't see it. This is that fork of the road. So it is absolutely about who we elect this year. It really and truly is. Hey, let's talk to Mike. He's on line 4. He's in Nevada. Hey, Mike, thanks for your patience.
How you doing?
Great.
Yeah, well, two things I'd like to find out. Number one, I spent a lot of my time in the Philippines. It's in Southeast Asia. It's an island nation there. And I'd like to know if there's an internet, you have an internet where I can listen to it from there.
Sure. If you have access to the internet anywhere on the planet or anywhere in the universe, you can hear Gun Talk. We have lots of places. You can do it through podcasts, through Apple iTunes, through Stitcher. If you go to our website, guntalk.com/listen, it lists all the different ways that you can listen to the show. But yeah, we've got 4 million downloads a year of the podcast. So absolutely, you'll be able to keep up when you're overseas.
Okay, guntalk.com, you said?
Guntalk.com, and then you can click on listen, and it'll show you how to listen online.
Okay. My next question is when I was home last time, I usually spend at home from November to May every year, and this past April, a friend of mine who is an accountant over there in Cebu, he did some trading, and he got himself a 9mm Model 19 Glock that has a rotary switch on the back of the frame, which you can turn it one way and semi-automatic, turn it the other way. It's fully automatic. And he has a 33-round clip for it. And we were out shooting it, and I thought that was quite a kick. I wouldn't mind getting one, but he doesn't want to sell it. And he doesn't know if they still manufacture them or not.
It's actually the Glock 18. It's a full automatic version of a Glock. And it shoots very, very fast. You can get 33-round magazines, and it'll run through those in about a second. It's just stunningly fast. I do not know the laws in Southeast Asia, but if the question is there a full auto Glock? Yes, there is. It's called the Glock 18. Beyond that, when you get over there, you're on your own as far as buying one or what the legality is there. So there you go. Look, I wish you luck with it, and I appreciate the call. Alan's in Carson City, Nevada, line 2. Hey, Alan, what you got?
Thank you for taking my call.
You bet.
I recently purchased a Glock 23, and I want to get my wife into shooting, and I heard about a 9mm conversion barrel, but there seems to be a lot of differing opinions on what it does to the slide.
I don't know what it does to the slide. All I know is that it's there, and I wouldn't hesitate to use it. Lone Wolf conversion, you can get it from Brownells. You can get it from a lot of different places online. Jim's saying you need a different spring, but if you get the conversion kit, I'm sure you get that whole deal. But I am right there with you. I think it's smart to go with the 9. The 40 is, I'd like to say, snappy. It's got a little bit more recoil to start somebody off. And the 9 is just softer, and frankly, the ammo is so much less expensive.
Very good. All right. Well, thank you very much.
You bet. Take care. Let's see here. Line 1, Bruce, Crossville, Tennessee. Hey, Bruce, what's cooking?
How you doing? I was just wondering, on the contest at Gun Site, if you can't make that week, will they give you a rain check for another date?
No. It is an event. It's not like just a class. This is a specific Gun Site Crimson Trace class. It's an event. So if you can't make it, you can't make it. So it's got the dates on there, so that's the deal.
For a hunting trip out in Montana, it's going to be the same week.
Well, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, they might say, you could come back for another one at some point, but I do not know. I would say enter anyway, and then, contact them if you can't make it. They may say, look, well, you're going to have to give it to somebody else, or you could have somebody go in your place, or they may say, yeah, we're going to do it next year. I don't know, but I know that this is a specific date for this specific event.
Great.
And that's the deal. So for those who don't, and look, thanks for the call. For those who don't know, we're talking about this giveaway. In fact, this is the last week to enter. You need to go to guntalk.com/win, WIN. You can enter for a chance to win a trip for two to Gunsight Shooting Academy for their famous 250 pistol class. It's a 5-day class, but this is a very specific class where they also include a lot of low-light stuff and a lot of use of lasers because Crimson Trace is part of the deal. And Crimson Trace is giving this away. And it's a trip for two paid for by Crimson Trace. So very cool stuff. God, that'd be so much fun. I love Gunsight. I love that class. I go back and I take the the 250 class, and they have a 350 class and they have other classes, but I go back and take the 250 class a lot. So, there you go. Let's see. Tell you what, Don, don't go anywhere. We're going to get to you, but I don't have time to get you in right now before we hit our break. And it wouldn't be fair because it sounds like a bit of a complicated question. If you've got a comment, a question, a gun you want to talk about, by all means, just give me a holler, 866-TALK-GUN. David Higgins, I think he's 23 years old, is going to be shooting in the Olympics. I was talking with my friend, had dinner with Dan Zelinka last night. He said, he says, I started David off shooting when he was like 13 or so in his backyard, dry firing, because his dad said, hey, could you teach this guy to shoot? Teach my kid to shoot? Dan said, sure. Dan's taught a lot of youngsters to shoot high power. Got him started, got him shooting with his rifle, his jacket. David got to be good at it, so good that he gave up soccer. His soccer coach said, well, look, you can play soccer when you're not shooting, because he was good at that too. And then he was approached by a number of universities. He was actually recruited by the Air Force Academy. He says, I'll do that. So he went to the Air Force Academy, graduated there, did a switch over. Now he's in the United States Marine Corps, and he's 23. He's going to be shooting in the Reno Olympics. So if you think you don't make a difference in somebody's life by starting them out in shooting, this young man is shooting in the Olympics because somebody said, sure, I'll show him how to shoot. That's your role. There you go. You have an impact. You can affect lives positively with that. So take people out shooting. You never know. You may watch it on TV when they lift that medal above their head.
Gun Talk encourages you to support the local sporting goods store, gun stores, ATV dealers, and other local businesses in your area who advertise on this station and Gun Talk. Only together can we protect our rights. You're listening to Washington Times opinion page regular contributor Tom Gresham.
So much going on. So very much happening. Massachusetts, the Attorney General unilaterally just decides, I know what the law says, but I don't care. All those guns that are actually legal, the semi-automatic, modern sporting rifles, I'm going to declare them to be illegal because you have altered your guns to actually comply with the law. That's not what we wanted. We didn't want you to comply with the law. We wanted to ban the guns. Are you kidding me? So this past week, she says, starting tomorrow, these guns will be illegal to sell. Boom, done. Starting tomorrow, these guns are illegal to sell. Now, and then she says, because people thought they were legal when they bought them, we're not going to take them away. Because she knows that there would be an absolute revolt, and I do mean revolt in the truest sense of the word. So people say, well, she can't do that. Yeah, evidently she can until somebody stops her. What are you going to do to stop her? You're going to have to go to court, aren't you? Courts. Where do we hear that come up before? As in the election, as in judges, which get appointed, federal judges get appointed by the president. You want some more Hillary Clinton judges? You want some more Barack Obama judges, just in the form of Hillary Clinton judges? Some justices? Make no mistake. The goal with these court nominations, these judge nominations, are going to be to strip the Second Amendment. People say, they can't do that. Yes, they can. Before the Heller decision, in the Supreme Court. I sat in a U.S. Federal Court of Appeals, Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals, and I listened to the government lawyers tell the judges there, no one in this country has a right to own a gun. Exact, totally the words they used, that is an exact quote. No one in this country has a right to own a gun. That was the official position of the United States Justice Department. The Heller decision came along and said, no. Individuals do have a right to own a gun. And the Democrat Party has gone crazy ever since, and they said we must get that reversed. Hillary Clinton says we must get that reversed. I will nominate, and I will select justices who will overturn this decision, and it will once again be the law of the land that no one in this country has a right to own a gun. You can own guns as long as we allow you to. That's her platform. And it's not just, oh yeah, we think she'll do it. She talks about it every time she speaks. It's a big part of her push of who she is, who she's trying to reach. We will ban guns. We'll start with the semi-autos, but we're going to go as far as we can go. Be like Nancy Pelosi when she was interviewed on 60 Minutes. She says, if I could have gotten the votes, Mr. and Mrs. America, I would have picked up every one of them, turn them all in. If I could get the votes, I would ban every gun in America. Don't think this is not real. Don't put your head in the sand. This is the real deal. This is who they are. This is what they want. Don't have to take my word for it. I'm not making this stuff up. I'm just quoting them. Just quoting them. They're telling you what they're going to do. In fact, they're telling you what they have done. When you have the Attorney General of Massachusetts that says, nope, those guns were legal yesterday and they will be illegal tomorrow. And no, I didn't pass any laws. I just made a decision on my own. If any store sells those, I will arrest you. I'll put you in handcuffs and I will prosecute you. So all the guns got pulled from the stores. Who's going to risk that? What store owner is going to risk that? Because they'll shut down the store. And, and here's the thing, and they'll tell them, okay, you may win on the legal deal, but we're going to take all of your assets for your company for 3 or 4 years that it takes to fight this in court. Will you have a company at the end of that? And that's what they do. They just tell them flat out, here's the deal. We're going to seize your assets, and by the time it's done, you won't have a company anyway. That's the way they work it. It's line 2, Will's in Shreveport, Louisiana. Hey, Will, how are you?
Hey, Tom. I'm 14 years old from Shreveport, and this is my second time calling. How are you?
Okay, I'm good.
Good.
How can I help you?
To know what you thought about militia groups in the United States and where teenagers and children can play a role in that.
Well, there's militia and there's the militia. In the United States, every able-bodied person, it was originally written man, but every able-bodied person above the age of 18 is in the militia. So we have that where everybody is part of the militia by law. Then you have groups that call themselves militia that are largely irrelevant to pretty much any discussion. I personally, and this is going to really make some people mad, I don't see a particular role for them in any of this. And the other part is, and the problem is, they have been rendered not just irrelevant, but they have been rendered toxic. The term militia to a lot of the general public now has become toxic. And then to make matters worse, you conflate that, which is one of the cool terms they use now, which basically means to connect it somehow. You conflate that with the open carry yahoos wearing their boonie caps and their ugly shorts and an AK walking around through a Target, and people are saying, oh, they're the militia too. So the term militia has gotten tainted to the point where it actually is a big negative if you talk about a militia group. So there is the there's what is real, and then there is the perception. And as I believe it was Marshall McLuhan said, the perception is the reality. What people perceive to be true actually is true in terms of public policy. So, yeah, I would suggest this, Will. If you really want to do something, you're not that far away from being old enough to join the military. When you turn 18, you could go ahead and start on that, work on ROTC. You could do some other things. If you want to make a difference, I would fast track that one. So I wish you luck with that, and thank you for that call. 866 Talk Gun gets you in here. We'll take a quick break, and then we'll come back and take some more calls.
The Black Hills. There's nothing like it on Earth. The kind of place where characters become legends. Wild Bill Hickok, Crazy Horse, Calamity Jane. Pick any part of the world and you'll find people go there to make it their own. But this is where people come to get made. This is the place that made the people who make the best ammo on Earth. Black Hills Ammunition.
FN handguns bear the DNA of legends, of John Browning, the father of modern firearms, of the artisans and craftsmen who brought his genius to life, of the brave souls who defended our freedom on the front lines for the last 100 years, and the brave souls who defend it on the home front today. FN handguns, the DNA of legends in the palm of your hand. Ask for FN, the world's most battle-proven firearms.
Hi, this is Tom Gresham from Gun Talk. America is losing critical wildlife habitat at a rate of 1 football field every hour. It's happening on the Louisiana coast, but it's critical to all sportsmen and conservationists. These precious wetlands provide winter habitat for more than 10 million ducks and geese annually, waterfowl that migrate north through dozens of states. Don't shrug it off. Get involved. You can help. Visit vanishingparadise.org.
As kids, we learned growing up, if you were going to hunt Wabbit, you had to be very, very quiet. Oh. At SilencerShop.com, that's what we do. We make guns very quiet with state-of-the-art suppressor technology for every caliber you've got in your safe, from .22s up to the big boys. Minimal noise, less recoil, higher velocity, better accuracy. Do you honestly need another reason to get a silencer?
Oh, ask we Wabbit.
Get the facts and get suppressed at SilencerShop.com, making the world a quieter place.
Responsible owners control access to their firearms, even when they may need them in a hurry. Liberty Safe, the nation's leader in gun safes, offers 6 models of handgun vaults. Strong, simple to use, open with a key or fingerprint. Put your handgun in the compact vault, lock it away until you need it. Then it's in your hand almost instantly. Pick the Liberty Safe handgun vault that's right for you. LibertySafeHD.com.
Oh, yeah, a lot of things happening this week. Let's see. In California, of course, we had the governor signing a number of bills, and they have, of course, a referendum on the ballot out there. So we're actually we're bookmarked. We have Massachusetts and we have California. There are a lot of people I know who are in the process of figuring out how to get out of California. I mean, I know people say, well, stay and fight. At a certain point, they're going, yeah, the legislature is impossible. They've made it to where I will be breaking the law if I stay here because I'm not willing to do what they say. So they're just going to leave. Do you remember before the Republican convention, there's a big deal from the Cleveland Police Union saying the governor should suspend the open carry laws. We should not have open carry at the Republican National Convention because the police won't know who the bad guys are. It's going to be a real problem. It's going to endanger people. They sent a letter to Governor Kasich asking him to suspend the law. Well, of course, the governor said, hey, I can't do that. I'm the governor. I'm not like the emperor. I can't do that. So as a result, you saw all the reports of the shootings by open carry people. And the problem, no. We didn't have any of that. People were open carrying legally, no issues, no big deal. Just kind of one of those, yeah, I know. There you go. Here's an interesting one. This fella in Ohio was turned down on his NICS check. They said, no, you're a prohibited person. The FBI turned him down. He was denied. He came back and found out they were showing some kind of a crime from way, way back, but it was not a domestic violence deal. It was just like a $100 misdemeanor charge in 1997 in Louisiana. And so he had a suspended sentence, and he said, that doesn't qualify as prohibitive. I shouldn't be prohibited by that. So he got the records from Louisiana and got them to the FBI and all, and they said, okay, we got it cleared. Went back to buy a gun, denied again. So they said, well, you could have put in an appeal, but, it's about a 14-month delay for us to even look at it. He said, no. Gregory Ledette says, no, not good enough. That is a denial of my Second Amendment rights. So he sued the FBI. And interestingly enough, 14 months changed to about 3 weeks, 3 or 4 weeks. He suddenly got undenied. Fascinating, don't you think? Interesting. Line 3, Ross is with us out of Mississippi. Hey, Ross, you're on Gun Talk.
Hey, Tom, just a quick check-in. I had given my wife a full day at the range at a place called Boondocks, a brand new place in Raymond, Mississippi. She went and took her well-armed women class, and then she took all her tests, scored 100 on the written and 100 on the shooting, so I will never go shoot with her ever in this lifetime. But she qualified for her concealed carry permit enhanced and got all that done, and now she is learning a lot about what she doesn't know. So it was an incredible, incredible gift to her, and she had a great time there at Boondocks in Raymond.
All right. Talk me through the process. Did you guys talk about that beforehand, or did you surprise her with the class, or how did it come about?
We talked about it because she had shot a little bit, but she didn't know a lot about weapons, and I had taken your advice a long time ago, and I was not going to go there with her. So this new place, Boondocks, opened up in Raymond, and it is state-of-the-art. It's really nice, and they have this class for women. I think it was 5 or 6 women and a female instructor, and it was a full day. And that sounded like something she wanted to do, and we had talked to some people that had gone, and they loved it, and she went and just had a ball and just real excited.
And let me guess, now she wants to do it more of it, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. The trouble now is, with work and everything, it's hard to just find the time. And, of course, she's got her SIG P238 380, though, so she's a happy girl for right now.
Okay, I got an idea. Jim says, hey, she's a future instructor. But here's an idea for you. You know that SIG makes really nice adult air guns that look and feel pretty much like their centerfire pistols.
Oh, that's right.
You guys could get 1 or 2 of those, and depending on the way your house is set up, have a place where you could shoot pellets, because they're very accurate and they feel like, and you could get in a ton of trigger time either in the backyard or in the garage or something like that. I would, because I know what you mean. Nobody has the time to do everything you want, but you could come home at the end of the day. After dinner, you could set up a little shooting range and spend 30 minutes and get in some serious trigger time. Those SIG adult guns, both rifles and handguns, are really fun, and you can shoot them for practically nothing. We're talking about a few pennies, maybe if that much, per shot. Neat stuff. So you go to the SIG website, SIGSauer.com, take a look at it. You'll see what I'm talking about. I am sold on. Oh, yeah, you can also, they'll work right out of your holster. You can practice your draw and everything else. Why wouldn't you do that? 866-TALK-GUN. Let's talk a little bit more. I tell you what, got an email from Clayton says, hey, I know that you enjoy hearing stories about kids shooting. I also know that you're a major proponent of shooting sports. I just wanted to share with you that the National 4-H Shooting Sports Championships were held the last week in June in Grand Island, Nebraska. I'm happy to inform you that the Louisiana small bore rifle team won the national championship. Also, the third and second place overall individual small bore rifle shooters were from Louisiana. Way to go. All right. Thanks, Clayton. Appreciate that. Yeah, 4-H has a great shooting program. If you have that in your area, it's a great way to get youngsters involved. Oh, here's an interesting story. Director of a CrossFit Games in California, no less, Southern California CrossFit Games, says he's standing strong again amid criticism, and one of his prizes is a Glock. Hey, that works. Getting a lot of ink over it, too, a lot of press coverage. And I see that CCI has introduced new 22 rimfire ammo, all copper bullets, no lead. 21 grain hollow point compressed copper polymer construction. This is that a long rifle? Yeah, 1,850 feet per second. Wow, that's pretty cool. And a 22 long rifle. Interesting. I got to get some of that and try that out. And then we get an email from Patrick who says there are several weaknesses in the responses to gun control advocates that have me frustrated. He says the first argument that most people have trouble with, he's talking about how do you combat this? How do you counter this? He says when people say, well, why do you need more than 10 rounds in a magazine? Or why do you need a semi-automatic rifle to hunt? He says people then start saying, well, it's really not about the number of rounds, but da-da-da-da-da. He says what he says is, I am not required to have a need. I have a semi-automatic rifle with 30-round magazines because I want it. Need has nothing to do with it. I don't have to have a need. He goes on, but it makes the point of thinking about your arguments when you get into a discussion. And don't think of it as an argument. Think of it as a discussion. Because when you start to argue, no, you're not going to persuade anybody. But if you just have a friendly, smiling, warm discussion, well, I don't really have to have a need. There are really no other rights. It's just like saying, why would you need to be able to have free speech? Well, I don't have a need for it. It's a right. I don't have to show a need. I think we do need to think about the way we present this. We have to all work to be better at it. One of the ways you can do that, of course, is to sign up for our Truth Squad newsletter. We try to send it out every couple of weeks now, getting better at it. We have a lot of information in it. It's free. It doesn't cost you a darn thing. If you go to the Gun Talk website, guntalk.com, you can sign up for the Truth Squad newsletter. Yeah, Jim said, it never stops. You don't need a boat. You don't need a plane. You don't need, you don't actually need a car. Oh, yes, I do. I have to get to work. Actually, no. What if we said you could take public transportation and we're going to ban cars? Well, which they would like to do, actually. And, there's no constitutional right to have a car. Wow, look at that. Except they won't do that because it affects them. They only want to do things that affect us and not them. There you go. So, as you look at what has just happened in Massachusetts and what has just happened in California just this week with new laws, or in the case of Massachusetts, not even a law, just an opinion issued by the Attorney General that bans the sale of modern sporting rifles, I want you to think about what this election means and what your commitment is. If you ever decided to get involved, we got just about 4 months. It's time to get on board, because when this train leaves the station, if you're not on it, there's never going to be a chance to get back on it. I don't think there's a way to recover if Hillary Clinton gets elected. I really don't. Go out and do some shooting, have some fun, and take somebody with you. We'll see you next week.